1 second. Sorry about that. So, all right. Okay. Just make sure that's okay.
Okay. I'm just listening a little bit to the creations of our producer, David, better known as Dog, here at UDR Productions Go Love Team. I hope you didn't forget about me because I missed you all. This is Uncle Charlie from Uncle Charlie's Corner. Charles E. Treadway III is my Christian name, and I just want to say Happy Mother's Day. That's right. Happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful mothers out there. And we're going to make a little bit of a definition today with the term of mother, because mother means a lot. Who is honored on this particular day? Who decided that it was just supposed to be a mother that gave birth physically to a child to be honored? That's right. Mother means a lot. And we're just going to talk about that for a little short time today, because I know probably some of you are still out there at the restaurants. Either you had breakfast and you went to church, or either you went to church and now you're getting ready to have brunch at a restaurant, or you're waiting in line. Well, Uncle Charlie is just going to try to make that time very fine for you. Okay. Like I said, happy Mother's Day. Unfortunately, my mother was called home 25 years ago last month on the 19th of April at 8:40 in the evening. That's right. A mother is very special to a child, especially to a son. My mother was my best friend. I could talk to my mother about anything. She was my confidant. She was the person that was my financial backer sometimes, because we all know when we need a little money, when we think we're on our own, when we're on our own, you got to call for them little twos and fews sometimes. And mama is there for you. Daddy might say, hey, well, I'm a little bit short this week, but mama usually have something in the back of her closet or something like that, or in the back of her purse to be able to send you. But something, as I was thinking about this Mother's Day, and I want to say happy Mother's Day to my sister Rachel and my sister Jackie. Both of them have large families. Jackie has boys, and she was blessed with a granddaughter finally this year, and last year. And Rachel basically has 2 boys and 3 girls, so she is set all the way around. And I just have a daughter, but that's next month. That's Daddy's Day. But Mother's Day, as we know, is a day that is set aside to honor the matriarchs of our respective families. And this time, and I'm going back at least about 10, maybe 12 years ago, I was a member of a fraternity in Stanford. Well, I still am, but I'm just not financial right now. They were called the Elks. And we used to have a program every Mother's Day. And it would honor the mothers in all of Stanford, but mainly on the west side, in the Black communities, in the Black churches. All the mothers would come that particular day to be honored by gospel music and readings. And usually sometimes we would have a guest speaker. And when we started off the first year, it was in honor of a man that was very well known, not only in Stanford, but in Bridgeport. His name was James Brown. And Mr. Brown decided that we should have a program to honor the respective mothers of our various families. Like I said, the matriarchs of the family. And it started out as a small gathering that one Sunday. And by year and year and year, word of mouth spread. And it became a very essential part of the west side of Stanford. And all the brothers would gather up in their finest attire to not only meet and greet the mothers and walk them to their respective seats, but prepare meals. All of us had to make a dish. A brother by the name of James Hager did most of the meat dishes, but all of us were responsible for making a dish to give to these mothers to show them how much we loved them. And we would serve them at the tables. The mothers did not have to do anything, but just sit there, enjoy the show, and then enjoy a meal. And like I said, it got bigger and bigger. I was really drafted before I had become a elk brother, and my uncle Ray, God rest his soul, had asked me if I would put a big pot of water on the stove one day. And I said, yeah. I said, no problem. I was watching a game. And then he asked me, he said, well, you put some macaroni in it for me and everything like that. And I said, yeah, I put the macaroni in there. And then he just said, could you add a little butter and a little salt to the water for me and everything? I said, listen, what is this you're trying to do? He goes, well, I need to make 2 or 3 trays for the Mother's Day ceremony. So I ended up making 2 or 3 trays for the Mother's Day ceremony and was recruited therein after. Then I had the pleasure of hosting it for emceeing it for 8 years until I had my health issues. But like I said, we honor mothers in different ways. Families will take them out to eat, or maybe families will have a great big meal at their houses, invite all their siblings or aunts, uncles, cousins, friends. I mean, hello, DJ. How are you, Vivacious? Very nice of you tuning in. Everybody had their own unique way. It's called a family tradition, like the OJs used to sing. And what I wanted to say in particular about mothers, especially the makeup of families now, and it's not really anything that is particularly special now. It is something that has gone on for probably since the beginning of time, that some families are not essentially the families that they talk about for Mother's Day. There are a lot of fathers that are, you got to say mothers, if they are in a single parent household. They hold it down just like mothers do in a single parent household. They're the mother and the father. There are mothers that go out there and work a 9 to 5 and then a 5 to 9. And you wonder how in the world they have time to rest. But they know that they have to take care of their family. You have 2-parent families where they're both working numerous jobs. You have aunts that have to be mothers because of various family issues. It could be illness, could be disease, could be drug disease, could be incarceration. So those aunts, they're mothers too. Grandmothers who have to raise their children's children or their grandchildren, they're mothers. Yeah, they might have grand on the front of mother, but the fact is, a lot of their grandkids call their mother or call them mama. My mother, Patty Treadway, she did not want her grandchildren to call her grandmother or grandma. She wanted to be called Mama Pat because my mama figured that she was still too young to be a parent. But that's what she wanted to be called, and her grandsons respected her on that. And I just want to say to all the mothers out there, whether you be a mother physically, you be an adopted mother, you be a foster mother, you be a grandmother, a foster grandmother, whether you be just any grandmother, whether you just be anyone who shows that maternal structure to a child, maybe a child in the neighborhood. If that woman made a difference in your life, call her up and say Happy Mother's Day if she's still here. Maybe you want to take a ride to the cemetery. It's very beautiful out there today. Called paying your respects, paying your dues to those who were here before you. You see, I've been blessed because 8 years ago, like most of you know, Uncle Charlie had a heart transplant. That means the heart from another individual was physically taken out and put in my body because my heart was not functioning properly. And you see, my heart was taken from a woman. So Uncle Charlie not only has a mother that gave birth to him in November of 64, but he has another mother that gave birth to him on January 1st of 2013. That is my donor, Heidi. And that is Heidi's mother, Elva. And to Elva, I say Happy Mother's Day to you. Heidi did not have the privilege to meet her grandchildren or see her children graduate high school, or if they want to go on to further education or whatever they want to do in their lives. She's looking down from heaven. There's no doubt about that. But Heidi meant a lot to her community. That's why I said some of us have mothers that are physically not our mothers. You see, she taught children. She taught children who not necessarily were what we would consider the children that go to school today. She taught children who were special. Not only special in God's eyes, she taught children that were special in her eyes. And these kids loved her. Mother figure. The little town that she was raised in, everybody turned out that day to honor her. Because obviously, she touched their hearts. Not only spiritually, or physically, I should say, but spiritually. We honor a particular lady called Mary. Mary was the mother of Jesus. And Mary gave birth to a wonderful thing. We all know that. Hello, how are you? And Leslie, if you're a mother, God bless you and happy Mother's Day to you. I just want to say, folks, on this particular Mother's Day, with all the strife and all the trials and tribulations going on, we know that the restrictions on COVID are starting to be lifted. And more of us could go out and frequent the places that we used to like to go to. There's more and more people at the beach now going freely, more and more people at the malls, especially the restaurants. And yes, the nightclub arenas are starting to open up a little bit more too. But as it starts to open up a little bit more, let's try to be a little bit nicer. Let's try to remember the gifts that our mothers taught us. Those of you who had a mother that raised you from the cradle, not necessarily the grave, but up to adulthood, that kept you in church, I hope that you're still keeping up those same traditions. Those of you who had mothers that sometimes they had a little difficulty with you, but you still turned out all right later. Remember those same values that your mother taught you. Remember how somebody raised you, and they tried to raise you to the best of their ability. I know it's nice to go home and get that home-cooked meal from mama when you're feeling down, or if you're out and you just got a new apartment, like my nephew did. He's trying to learn how to cook and everything, but it's nothing like mama's cooking, especially a lot of you kids that went to college. I know because of the COVID that you were home most of the time this past year and a half. But when it came time to come home on Thanksgiving, you couldn't wait to see your mom and have some of mama's good homemade cooking. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and like I said earlier, my mother's been gone 25 years. Yes, I know I will see her again one day. But I still remember those holiday dinners. I still remember those breakfasts that she would cook me. I still remember the dinners, the lunches, the bags of sandwiches that she used to send me not only to school with, but to work with too. Give your mother her roses while she is here. Because once she's gone, I'm sorry, that's it. And there ain't no use crying on the first row, wondering, Mama, what am I going to do now? Because it's not too late. You're going to have to remember what your mama taught you. But isn't it better for your mother to see you now, successful, going out there, making your way in the world while her eyes are still open and while she's physically still on God's green earth? To you out there, and I know some of you like to surf the channels, I'm talking to you. If you know you're not doing right in your life, don't break your mama's heart. Your mother is going to be the one that is there from you from the cradle to when she's called home. But give your mother something proud, something that she can brag about to her friends and family. Learn those lessons that your mother's teaching you now. Remember those lessons that your mama taught you. Look in the mirror and say, would my mother like the way I'm living life? And if you can honestly say that she does like it, then your mother raised you right. But if you're lying to yourself, then I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a whole lot more hell coming down. The warm weather's here, the summertime is here, and like I said before, the COVID restrictions are being lifted. But make sure that you lift your mama's heart. Thank you, Leslie. Make sure that you lift your mama's heart while she's on earth. Because I'm going to say it again. Give your mother her roses while she is here on this earth. Do not wait until you are sitting on the front row. Remember those ladies that are special in your life. And if you have a child by a young lady now, and you're not married, you call her your baby's mama, or some of you might have numerous baby's mamas. I don't know. Okay? Hey, it's life, dog, right? It's life. All right? Make sure you call those women up. Make sure you stop by the store. If you could pick up a bottle or a beer, you could pick up some flowers. Doesn't have to be a bunch. Get a couple of, or you might see somebody out on the street. You see plenty of those people out here selling roses now. And you can either buy them by the bunch or a dozen, or you can buy them individually. Okay? Pick them up, drop them off. Just say, I want to thank you for being the mother of my child. Because that's honoring your mother. That's showing that your mother taught you right. She raised you right. Oh, I'm going to tell you, folks. I know there's going to be a lot of mothers that are happy today watching this message. That's why I had to say it. Now, see, I'm doing something right now. That's why you don't see me on regularly. I am completing my dream. The dream that was instilled in my head when my mother was alive. And I'm going back to college. Yes, even at the ripe old age of 57 in November, I'm going back to college. and I'm finishing my degree. That's what my mama wanted. A whole lot of women in my family were teachers. I told you my sister, Jackie, she's a teacher. My other sister, she works with children that have mental issues, okay? Autism, emotional issues. Because I hate to say it, there are some folks out there that don't want to deal or can't deal. So you have to have somebody that is able to deal or able to teach or show them the love and nurturing that these special, special children need. Because her mother raised her right. And to Elva, I say thank you very much, Elva. You raised a beautiful person. I know she was only on this earth for a short time, but the impact of what she did to go on and help others, myself included, that speaks volumes. Give your mothers their roses while they're here. That's a simple message. That's all Uncle Charlie wanted to say. I told you I wasn't going to stay on long. You know, I got a lot of my cousins out there from the north to the south to the east to the west, and even in Europe. I got a cousin over there in Germany who's got 3 beautiful young men. My cousin Rodney. And hello out there. I know he's probably watching in Germany. God bless you. And he's one of those fathers that is a mother because he's taking care of his 3 boys. Oh, yeah. Mother has a huge definition on Mother's Day. But remember, Uncle Charlie taught you. Do your mom a blessing. Be the person that she wanted you to be and be proud of. So she can brag to her friends. She brag to anybody who will listen. You will truly make your mother a special Mother's Day. And to Barbara Glover and Esther in heaven and Mrs. McDonald down there in Florida, those were my other mothers when I was growing up. I say happy Mother's Day to you. And to my mama, Patty C. Treadway up in heaven. Mama, I love you. There's not a day that does not go by that I don't think about you. And yes, I truly remember the lessons that you have taught me. And to my fiance, Darlene. Honey, I love you. God bless you. You did a fantastic job with your daughter. She's grown up to be a success. And hopefully she'll make that call today to say Happy Mother's Day to you. It's still early. Remember the ones, folks. Remember the ones that put you on that path, that glorious path. When I look at some of the beautiful mothers that I've gotten the privilege to know in Bridgeport, and you see the wonderful things that their children are doing, I mean, it just makes your heart skip a beat. It really does. Well, I can't afford it, but I think you all know what I mean. It just makes you feel great. It really does. And I'm not going to name any names, but you children know who you are. And every time your mothers talk about their children, they speak with gladness. They chest all out, and I mean, it's just beautiful. It's just really beautiful. Well, folks, we're going to wrap it up on this Mother's Day message, this first of hopefully many. Okay, but I just want to thank the people at UDR Productions. David Stevens goes by the name of Dog. Our producer, Robert Velez Jr., MVP, Most Valuable Poet, and all the other personalities now that are on the network filling in while I take my little sabbatical. I will be back, hopefully at least once a month to say, how you doing, folks? But Uncle Charlie loves you very much. And I just felt I had to come on and I had to say this. And also for the wonderful people of Donate Life last April, being our month. We flew the flag over the city of Bridgeport in honor of the people that gave. That's right. If you're not an organ donor, please go to www.registerme.org and become an organ donor. If you're not an organ donor and you go for your driver's license or a renewal, you could check yes and say that you too would like to give the gift of life, which I received over 8 years ago. I want to thank you very much again, folks. This is Uncle Charlie's Corner. And I just got one thing to say before I go. Happy Mother's Day. And remember, Uncle Charlie loves you. I think it went well. I love this, man. This is beautiful. This is Mother's Day music, man. This is Mother's Day music. Nice, calm, everything.